YouTube family, so it's story time as I had promised. Again, video a little late as usual. I get busy. But at 20 weeks, guys, when I found out the gender, I got an abnormal ultrasound as well. My son had shown a right clubbed foot, a right kidney full of cysts, and a left distended kidney and a keyhole bladder. This is all because there was urine backing up, okay, into the kidney, and there was some sort of an obstruction, but we didn't find that out until after. Now, my OBGYN had pretty much mentioned that this was going to be a very different case for him and that he wasn't too comfortable with delivering my son, that I should maybe think about terminating the pregnancy, guys. And that to me was not an option, okay? No matter what it took, whatever I had to do, I was going to do in order to have my child, regardless of what I heard. We did continue with some tests, blood work, and then an amniocentesis, which is the needle going through your tummy into the amniotic fluid and testing it. It's called a fish test, and everything came back normal, guys, as far as Down syndrome, cleft palate, and all that bad stuff. So it seemed like my son was healthy enough to a certain point, but there was still a lot of things that we just didn't know what was going to happen when he was born, if he was going to make it to birth. So we kind of kept going to the same OBGYN because he already had, all my lab work, all my stuff. I just didn't feel comfortable with just leaving him, even though he kind of wanted me to terminate the pregnancy. Of course I found out that he was a boy, so I was so excited. I already had two girls. That was 20 weeks. Now at about 26 weeks, guys, I saw from the doctor's ultrasound, I saw that he had pointed out that there was not a lot of amniotic fluid. I was losing it, and we just didn't know why. So he sent me to the specialist. This man was such an asshole. And he just kind of checked the amniotic fluid twice a week. Okay, we went on like that for about 4 weeks. So when I hit 30 weeks, guys, I had like almost nothing left. I had like maybe 5% of the fluid there. He said, okay, so we're done here. There's really nothing that we can do. We don't have a team or the equipment here in El Paso. You're going to have to fly to Houston and find help over there. I said, how am I going to just fly? I said, I need your help. I need for you to help me. Like, this isn't like easy for me. He said, you have to find your own way, ma'am. So I just left crying from there. I went to the emergency, next door. And then guess who shows up? The same doctor that's the asshole, and says, didn't I tell you we can't help you? What are you doing here? So I just said, I'm trying to get help. I didn't ask them to call you, sir. Like, I'm trying to save my son. He said, there's nothing for her here. Give her discharge paper. So I left. I was devastated, guys. I went crying home, and my girls were home, and I told them, your brother's gonna die. He's gonna die. I need to find a way to save him. Whatever I have to do, I'm gonna do it. I will not come back home until I find help. So I went to UMC, guys, and there was this I get really emotional. There was this one doctor that actually listened to me, and she kept me there. And she basically decided to help me and to fly me out to Houston. So in that weekend, she couldn't do much, but she tried to figure it out for Monday. So on Monday, she flew me, guys, as an emergency patient, and I left to Houston. That's when the miracle started happening. This great doctor in Houston had done a shunt in utero, which is like another amniocentesis, but this time he's placing a little pigtail shunt, like a plastic, that goes into my son's bladder, outside of his bladder into the sac, and then it started creating the fluid. So it was a high five to him. We were going to get discharged. I was so happy. It was me and his dad that were there on that trip. We were coming home, guys, almost close to coming home. Discharge day, boom, my water breaks, okay? So guess what? I had to stay on bed rest for 6 weeks. This whole time I'm praying to God, please, Lord, let me make it to the 36 weeks so I can give birth to this kid. I love my son dearly. I want to meet my son. If I have to die, I'm going to do that. I just want to meet my son. And I promise you, whatever I have to do, I will take care of my kid if you allow me to just have my son and let him live. And I promised him that, and that's what the promise that I've kept. Anyways, excuse me for getting emotional. But at 36 weeks, I had my son, and it was beautiful, but I could tell from the monitor that he was very, very sick. and perforated anus, so no rectum. They had to do a colostomy and vesicostomy the second day of life. And pretty much he stayed there, and I stayed there for 2 months. And then we got to come home and then started a brand new chapter. So I'll get into more details about the brand new chapter, but that's pretty much the story of the 20 weeks ultrasound that came back abnormal. And no, I didn't know he was going to be this sick, but I knew something was wrong. But I prayed to God for him to allow him to live and just let me be a mom to this baby. And that's what I've been doing, guys. Anything is possible, guys. So, no se dejen. The doctors are not always right. They thought my son wasn't even going to walk. Okay, so now he's 3 years old. Very strong baby, as you guys know. So los dejo, and I will catch up to you guys tomorrow, okay? Andele pues. I'm up and I'm out. Peace.